Hey everybody, and welcome to another Outsider Review. My name is Pat and I've got Luke holding the camera back there. And this week I'm particularly more excited because I read all your comments. And whenever you guys say, I'd like you to review this vehicle, I try my darndest because it is hard in this YouTube world as a small YouTuber to try to get the actual vehicle. So I would like to thank Sunjib for your comment. You wanted me to review the Explorer, 2025 Explorer, and that's exactly what I have this week. And I want to thank you for all your loyalty and subscribing to the channel and commenting on videos. That really helps us out. So, the 2025 Explorer ST, that's right, they gave us the performance one. Big mistake on their part. I'm just kidding. But let's go right into the look of it. They've modified and tweaked a little bit the outside appearances this year. The grille looks a little bit bigger and meaner, and I definitely like of it. But actually, I'm not just going to talk about the ST. In this review, I'm going to talk about all the trims so you know what comes standard. That's right where I'm going right now. So from the entry-level active trim, you get that 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine powered through a 10-speed transmission. It'll put out 300 horsepower, 310 pounds-feet of torque. It also comes with a nice 13.2 touchscreen and a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. Ford Copilot 360 Assist, and you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You get adaptive cruise control, Class 3 trailer tow package, comes standard with all the trims this year, so 5,000 pounds of towing across the board capability, front row heated seats, and USB ports in every single row. Now we do have the ST, so that's a complete different beast, but you can get this engine choice as well in the Platinum trim, but it has a 3-liter twin turbo V6 engine that puts out 400 horsepower and 415 pounds-feet of torque. That is one mean machine. So if you're looking at all the trims, you have the ST and you have the ST line. They're not to be confused together. So basically, the ST, that's the true beast of a machine, which is the one I'm going to talk extensively because that's the one we have. But the ST line has the looks of it, even the red calipers, but it just has that, you know, inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. So it puts out 300 horsepower as opposed to 400 horsepower, but it looks the part, right? So if you like to look fast, then the ST line has that budget feeling in it. So yeah, the ST line 0 to 60 time is going to be 6 seconds, and the ST is going to be 5 seconds. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. When I got this vehicle, I contacted because I'm an outsider, I contacted a Ford insider, a good friend of mine. Also has a YouTube channel. It's Johnny's from Johnny's Car Care and Review. Definitely a Ford guy. He's actually a Ford employee. And let's see what Johnny had to say about the Explorer.
So behind me, we have the 2025 Ford Explorer. Now, I've got a few things that I want to mention on the Ford Explorer that I think are quite pertinent to keep in mind. If you're looking at an ST, yes, you're getting that V6 twin turbo EcoBoost engine, and that 3-liter offers a lot of power. It's a lot of fun, but if you're not going to be hammering down on it, there are other options. Now, that engine also comes on the Platinum if you don't want that all black look, but here is the Active. This is one option. It's going to come with a 4-cylinder 2.3, like the Ford Rangers that we have behind us. But you might find the wheels a little too normal, ordinary. Now, the Active is about 53, 54, 55,000 Canadian for not that much more. So, got the engine from the Ranger. It's a proven engine. It's a good 4-cylinder 2.3 liter. Plenty of power for 95% of the people out there. So this one's 53,630, but I'd spend the extra money to get an ST line. And with the ST line, with the wheel option, you're going to get a vehicle that looks like that ST, should have plenty of power. Fuel efficiency is going to be nonetheless similar, but you get the upgraded interior, you get the upgraded exterior look. Now, it's not quite as incredible as the ST, but it is a lot less money. You're still going to be somewhere in the more towards, I believe, around the $58,000 range. I think the ST line with the 2.3 liter is absolutely your best bet for absolute great value and great resale. Of course, it's going to depreciate, but not quite as badly. The STs have been holding on to their value, but I think that's the gem in the lineup, the real deal, what you don't want to miss out on. I hope this has been very helpful. If so, check out my channel.
Okay, so Johnny's take is pretty good. Definitely go check out his channel. I'll put a link in the description. Good friend of mine, also a military veteran like myself. So I definitely love supporting military veterans. But I'm gonna make my own view. That's why I'm an outsider. I'm an everyday guy that's not really an enthusiast, but I like driving cars and I like to give you guys my impression of it. So this is my impression, is the looks is, you know what, that's what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking SUV. The Explorer, it comes to mind. It looks great. It's got the nice square stance to it. And this one in particular has got the 21-inch wheels with the nice bright red calipers. Good spokes design going on here. I like the color of the wheels too. That gray definitely looks pretty good. And let's keep in mind that this one also comes with 360-degree camera, which is definitely gonna help parking wise. You also have approach unlock, so you have the key, the sensors and stuff. And I like the details. You're gonna see this theme quite a bit. It's got Explorer written out here and a few other places as I'm gonna point it out to you guys. And this one, for fuel economy, it's recommended premium fuel. So for fuel economy with the ST, you're looking at combined fuel economy of 11.3 liters per 100 kilometers. But if you go with all the other trims that have the inline 4, your fuel economy, regular, so not premium gas, is estimated about 10.4 liters per 100 kilometers. Price-wise, so you're looking at the inline 4, you're looking at mid $50,000, and if you're looking at this one, the ST, you're looking at $70,000, roughly, give or take, in Canada. So that definitely makes a dent in your pocket, but that's, you know, if you can afford this ST, you can definitely afford the premium gas that goes with it. Let's talk about cargo. Okay, so in the backhand, I love how the Explorer is written out as well, and the quad tips definitely goes well with the ST. And this is what comes standard right here. The level 3 tow package comes in with every trim, starting from the entry level, and can tow 5,000 pounds, no matter which engine choice you go with. Powered opening, I touch a button over here, and let me show you the key fob over here. So this is the key fob, and I have my button over here. I can just power opening. And as it opens, it's gonna show you that we have 16 cubic feet of space with all the seats up. I also have a compartment underneath that gives you a little bit extra storage. And underneath that, I actually have a spare tire. Definitely appreciated. Now, if I was to drop the third row, which I can do at a touch of a button, so you got a motorized seat drop activity going on over here, then we have 46 cubic feet of space. And if I drop all the seats down, you're looking at 85 cubic feet of space. So definitely a spacious vehicle. And as you can see here, I have my hockey bag here, my hockey sticks here, and now I still have the second row up, and I have all our filming equipment. So lots of room here. It's not the best one. That belongs to the Chevrolet Traverse, which we also have a review. You can go check it out, and that's 98 cubic feet of space. Now let's see how comfortable we are on the inside. Inside, as you can see me here in the third row, I've got 32 inches of legroom. I have some USB-C, some vents up top, and up top I actually have quite a bit of headroom. Now here being in the second row, I've got less headroom, but that's because of the big panoramic sunroof, which I blocked out because it really screws the image when the light comes in. But I still have an inch of legroom, but I have more back there. I have my ventilation up here as well, and vent control over here, and my heated outboard seats. Now this is the captain's chair configuration for the top trim. I have USB-C connection, so since I don't have anything here, I have my cup holders here, which will fit a Timmy's cup, but it won't quite fit a sports bottle. If your kids play hockey like mine, you're gonna have to throw that one into the door where it fits here. As I'm looking at door fabric, it's pretty nice. I got the nice B&O sound system over here. It sounds really good. And you know what they tried to do is get rid of plastic everywhere, plastic fantastic, and just have some nice quality stitching, leather, and different fabric all around. So it looks really nice. The door looks really good. And they have the sunshade, which comes in handy. Kangaroo pouch. And overall, I like that the hump is not too big over here for crossover drills. And I have USB connection is in every row, like I mentioned in the beginning. That's standard from the entry-level trim. So I have 2 USB-Cs here, 2 USB-Cs here, lots of USB connection in the front, and that's where I'm going next. Finally, in the front seats, this is where they have done quite a bit of work. It used to be quite plasticky inside an Explorer, and that was a big complaint. And you can see they've changed it quite a bit. And even Luke right here behind the camera, he said now it kind of looks more like a vehicle than, you know, a Fisher-Price toy. And he's right, because we've got leather, soft leather over here. We got different fabric here. We got a metallic logo over there, and then you have this cloth B&O sound system that kind of integrated with the dash as well. Everything kind of looks premium now, and it should, especially for this particular one, the ST that's in the $70,000 price mark. It looks premium and it's got performance. I'm going to talk about performance when I'm driving it. But in the door, again, we got a metallic B&O sound system. We got the 3-way memories. We got a lot of buttons over here, as well as your light controls down there over here. Now, steering wheel, I got some hard buttons, which is good. Everything kind of makes sense, right? It just works really well. I got a flat bottom for the ST trim here, and I got my sensors because this has Blue Cruise. So on Blue Cruise, it's a hands-free driving assist system. So hands-free means literally like I'm driving like this, and the screen becomes blue to tell me that it's engaged, it's working, and everything's working fine. And the latest Blue Cruise has the auto lane change as well, similar to GM's Super Cruise. It definitely makes a long journey a lot easier. Right in front, I got a 12.3 digital gauge cluster. Screen quality, great. It's really crisp, and you can customize it to whatever information you have. And then I have my 13-inch screen. So this is what I mentioned when it's standard. These things are standard right here across the board, from this entry-level trim, big screen. They're not cheaping out on anything. So this is where it becomes a really good value to, you know, you can get an ST line that looks similar to the ST, has all this nice tech in there as well, because you got Google built in. So I got a Google Store. I can add my apps and all that stuff. It has wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I've already mentioned that. But then we come in something that I'm not too sure about. I'd like you guys to comment below. But so you got your HVAC. That's your bar here. I do have some buttons down here, but all my HVAC controls are up here. So it's all going to be done through the screens. I'd like to know how you guys feel about it. Since Luke's in the back here, I like the graphics. Graphics is cool. I'm going to turn on the heat for him back there because he's kind of cold. But so your ventilation is here. So at least this, though, it's manual ventilation adjustment. I like that because the Lincoln, I didn't like that you had to do it through the screen. But I want to hear you guys if you'd like a little bit more fixed buttons to maybe, you know, defrost and such. Comment below. As far as under the ventilation here, I do have my volume knob. I have my auto start stop. I got my auto hold and the slip and the camera angle. So if we go at the camera angles, it is what it's expected from Ford, which is great. 360-degree camera, and you have all the angles, whether it's you know, the trailer hitch angle right here, which a lot of people are gonna love. There you go. Touch the button, you get to see your trailer hitch. So camera angles, great, especially on that 13-inch screen. Below that, I got my wireless charger. I wish I saw an opportunity here. Dual wireless charger would have been great for a family road trip, but no, it's not dual wireless charger. It's just on the left side, and your wife can just put or spouse can just put their phone here and not charge it. Over here I do have a cover, and underneath this cover I have a USB-A, USB-C connection, as well as a 12-volt connection, and a pretty deep storage here. I have my sunglasses in here, and cover that up. It looks quite nice. Good size cup holders. I have another rubber padding here, and this is my shifter, so it's a rotary shifter. I like it. It's fine. It works fine with me. And parking brake, and then drive modes. Drive modes, which I'm going to test definitely the sports mode. So we got tow haul, sport, eco, normal, trail, and slippery. Those are your drive modes. You know, sports is going to be a lot of fun, especially with the ST. I have a nice big panoramic sunroof that does open. Seat quality is pretty good. I'm very comfortable with the seats. I do have, if you click again, I don't like that I have to go through, but I do have heated and ventilated seat and auto function. So you turn it on auto for both the seats and the heated steering wheel. Heated seats are standard, as I mentioned earlier. So overall, storage in this vehicle is very well. I like the rubber you know, padding that they have. I like the touch of everything. Feels really good from the steering wheel and such. Center console, lots of room, and 2 more USB-C. So I wasn't kidding when I was back there and said there's a lot of connectivity going on in the front. So I have like 4 ports all in all, really connected. And how is it connected to the road? That's what I want to assess, and let's go for a drive. Okay, here we are. Let's kick off this driving portion with sports mode. As well, you're gonna get DST trim. You're gonna drive it in sports mode. Let's face it. You don't get this because you like cruising around at a slow pace. Let's go. Oh yeah. You got a 0 to 60 time in 5.1 seconds for the ST. You got 6 seconds for all the other combinations. Ample amount of power, and the noise coming from that twin turbo V6. Beautiful. It's a symphony. It's got so much power. That 400 horsepower and 415 pounds of torque is just, it's more than enough, and it's actually more than a competitor, which would be the Acura Type S, Acura MDX Type S, and this is actually faster, and it's actually cheaper, which is something I was like, wow. Now, yeah, the MDX has a better tuned suspension, I'll give it that. Now let's go back to normal, and I picked this road here. It's basically where I'm up in the mountains, and I'm up in Quebec, notoriously known for terrible roads. I got lots of bumps in front of me, and I picked it with a purpose, because even if you get the ST, if you can get that sport tuned suspension, is it gonna make the ride unpleasant? The answer is no. Is it gonna be as plush or as very comfortable as, you know, if you have the active line, or if you have all the other trims? Then no, this is a more sport tuned suspension. It's made to be a little bit more rigid. I'm about to take a curve, and you're gonna detect almost no body roll. Go a little bit up of speed here, some speed, and accelerate through the curve. Yeah, it allows me to have way more confidence in gripping these curves, but these bumps, I'm definitely feeling them more than I would, for example, if I'm comparing it to, like I said, the other trims for the Explorer, or the MDX. I found that the suspension was a little bit better for that, but this is way cheaper, and it's way faster. So you gotta find what you want. I find that the comfort is plenty, and this is what I would like as a more aggressive drive, not aggressive, a dynamic driver. There you go, I'll use the word dynamic. As a more dynamic driver, I think that this is the kind of suspension I'd like, because it doesn't make it uncomfortable. It's not like I'm riding in a Tesla Model 3 Performance or anything. You still get some, you know, comfort to it, but it's just better tuned at taking corners. Visibility, I absolutely love that I can see all around me, and I have the 360 camera, and soundproofing is very good, and all you hear is that beautiful as I'm about to do another acceleration, because why the heck not, you gotta keep in mind rear wheel drive bias, so it gives you that much more of a rocket propelled kind of feeling of just getting propelled right through there. And I'm about to climb a mountain here that I think it's got about 15 or 11% incline. No problemo here. Going up, oh yes, curves, no problem. Going right, going left. Yeah, there's nothing bad I can say about this. And if I have to be nitpicking, I will say that what I noticed when I was driving through Montreal, the city of traffic, the transmission, the 10-speed transmission acts really well on all occasions, but it seemed to go like when you're in Montreal highway, but bumper to bumper, and then it's like opens up and then comes back down, and at low speed, just you get a bit of a lag first off right off the bat, but it also didn't like it going, slow down, come to a stop, and then slow down, accelerate. So I found that it was kind of trying to figure out what to do here in this traffic, and I don't blame it. I hate bumper to bumper traffic. I live in the country for a reason. I like wide open roads, and that's how this transmission likes it too. It doesn't like bumper to bumper traffic, and then the low speeds doesn't act as good as it does in higher speeds. That's just my take, and this is me being very nitpicking, because this is as close to perfection I can find for a SUV. Now, my fuel consumption is definitely higher than, that 11.4 liters per 100 kilometer average, or was it 21 miles per gallon. It's more around 12.2 liters or 12 liters. Let's round up, 12 liters per 100 kilometers, and that's because I'm doing this kind of driving. And yeah, so if you buy the ST because you like to drive dynamically, like let's say like myself, fuel consumption goes up, but that's not just this vehicle, that's every single vehicle. But overall, I got a very pleasant ride, especially when I took that 3.5-hour road trip and I used Blue Cruise. It just makes it so stress-free, hands-free driving. I cannot say enough great things about Blue Cruise. It just makes your long drives, and you come home, instead of being like exhausted, you come home like, 50% less exhaustion, let's put it that way. And before I rack up the gas bill too much, I'm just gonna pull over. I'm gonna do a comparison with quite a few vehicles, and then sum it all up for you guys. Okay, so it's time to conclude this. Before I do, I'm going to try to do a comparison. I'm going to try to go in a little bit more in detail, because I believe the ST needs to do its own comparison. I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to compare the ST to another luxury performance SUV. That's right, I believe that the ST trim belongs in its own luxury performance class. Acura MDX Type S, which is a vehicle I drove in the fall, handles very well. The Type S, I'm going to give it points for the suspension. So the Acura Type S has a better tuned suspension in handling and cornering and such. However, the Explorer ST will definitely kick it in 0 to 60 times, so it's faster. It's got more power underneath that. It's got that 3-liter V6 that puts out 400 horsepower, 415 pounds-feet of torque. The Explorer wins for that. As far as the interior, I also prefer that it's more open than the Acura MDX Type S. Also, it drinks less fuel, if you believe that. So it's more powerful and it drinks less gas. And it's got a more open space kind of design in there, as opposed to the MDX Type S. Kind of feel more like a sports car. But I think I prefer the openness there. Price-wise, this one's actually more affordable too. So, I mean, it depends. If you're all about the badge and you want the Acura or the, luxury segment badging, all the power to you. But I think that the Explorer ST will definitely turn some heads, especially performance. Now, on to the flip side of that. If I'm going to the mid SUV segment and I'm taking that 4-cylinder turbocharged 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine that puts out 300 horsepower, then I gotta compare with something else. I'm gonna look at the Atlas, I'm gonna look at the Honda Pilot, I'm gonna look at the Chevrolet Traverse. How does it differ from all the other ones? Well, as far as power output, it's kind of like similar. The Traverse has more horsepower and torque, but when you compare that, how does that translate to speed? Well, this actually has a lower 0 to 60. So the Explorer is faster, even with the 4-cylinder engine, than the Chevrolet Traverse. Even though you're looking at horsepower and torque, Traverse has more. This still does better. Also, for cargo space, because you wouldn't be shopping around a mid-size SUV because cargo is not a factor, right? So when it comes to cargo and leg room, well, this one has a little bit less than its competitors, right? So the Honda Pilot, the Traverse, and the Atlas kind of boast a little bit more leg room. The Traverse being the segment leader in that cargo space, but they have a little bit more leg room for that third row. Second row, you're kind of becoming around the same thing. So it really depends your comfort style and what you want to look into. And the Pilot is the only one of those three that has a naturally aspirated V6. They all can tow 5,000 pounds, and they all basically price around the same except for the Traverse. So the Traverse is cheaper, less, performance as far as speed-wise, even though the specs say otherwise. And it has more cargo than the Explorer, but the Explorer is a little bit more fun to drive, definitely faster off the line than all those other three. So it depends what kind of driver you are, right? Comfort style, they all have similar kind of suspension. They all kind of handle similar on the road. Fuel economy, I'm gonna give points for the Atlas. It has a better fuel economy, not on paper, but from me driving it around, I remember the Atlas had a much better fuel economy than what it was written on. So that's my comparison. That's what I gotta say to you guys. If fuel economy is your thing, then definitely go look at the Atlas. Cargo capacity is your thing, then you got the Traverse, Atlas, and Pilot. Driving dynamics, I'm gonna give it to the Explorer. So there you go. I got my two comparisons going on over here, and my last pros and cons, and I gotta revert back to being the SC. So the pros is it's a lot of power, it's a lot of fun, and my con is gonna be that the transmission does act a little bit weird sometimes when you're in a bumper-to-bumper traffic. It doesn't like it. It's okay, I understand. I don't like it either. I can relate to that. So, but when you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic and you're going accelerate, decelerate, it seems to do some hard shifting, but otherwise the 10-speed transmission does a great job. That's just what I've experienced, and I don't really have any other cons to tell you about. I'm really happy with the Explorer. I love this color, by the way, red. Good to go. I love the looks of it. I love the interior. I think they did a fantastic job, but I want to know what you guys think. You guys comment below. I love interacting with you. Tell me what you want me to review next. I'll try to get it done like I did this for Sunjib over there. Thank you again for following the channel, subscribing, and commenting. I'll see you guys in the next one.